Chapter 10 Exit Signal. The phrase, cut your losses early and let your winners run, is all too common in trading. It is actually one of the best advice that any trader can take on board. As usual, the most difficult part is figuring out how to actually do it. So, how do you go about doing this? The answer is of course from statistics. By now, you should be familiar with my principle of using actual trading statistics to create improvements in trading. In Chapter 2, I showed that the only way to be profitable in trading is to have a positive expectancy. If a trader is able to reduce the size of losses and increase the size of winners, then he or she will have a higher average reward-risk ratio. This, in turn, would improve the expectancy of the trader. Here is a quick example to show you how a simple 10% reduction in the size of the losers can actually improve the average reward-risk ratio by 11%. Indeed, cutting losses early and letting winners run will increase the average reward-risk ratio. The mathematics, however, shows that it is more beneficial to reduce the size of losses than to increase the size of winners. This comes down to the fact that reward-risk ratio is effectively just a fraction, with the average win size as the numerator, the number on the top, and the average loss size as the denominator, the number on the bottom. The impact of changing the denominator carries more weight since it is essentially a simple rational function. I won't go into the math here. If you would like to find out why, look up behavior of rational functions. This is one of the many reasons why I focus so much on reducing losses. Out of the two options, I would gain more benefit from one than the other, so the choice is obvious. If you are wondering why I do not focus on letting my winners run, the answer is that I find it more difficult to do so. My personality and psychological conditioning seems to favor cutting the losses. This was something that I discovered through our many hours of training with my mentors. Of course, the ideal scenario is to be able to do both and improve profitability even more. This is one of my goals to work towards. Like I've said earlier, trading is simple, but it is not easy because each trader is different. I have to adapt my trading style to suit me whenever possible. I'm going to show you a real-life example of how cutting losses have improved my overall reward-risk ratio by a significant margin. Below this video is a link to an account that was under my management since June 2015. I can tell you that all the trades taken on this account have a maximum target of 2 times reward-risk ratio. Now, if you calculate the average win size and loss size by looking at the gains column in the history tab, you will find that my average reward-risk ratio is much higher than 2. At the time of making this video, it was at 2.8. This is achieved by exiting early out of trades that my analysis shows is likely to be a loser. It's what I refer to as my exit signal. It's not always correct. However, the purpose of the exit signal is to improve my average reward-risk ratio, which it has been achieving. I'm going to focus only on the process that I used because I have been doing it actively in trading. You can apply the exact same logic to create your own system on letting winners run. The process presented in this chapter is in a general format. It is not specific to any trading methodology or style. Therefore, you can apply it to whichever strategy you want to trade with. You need to use a lot of data from your past trading results for this procedure. Once again, this is why it is absolutely vital to keep a trading journal with as much information as possible. If you don't have a journal, there is still a way to do this, but it is going to take significantly longer. There is no shortcut when it comes to trading success. You either pay today or you'll pay double later. Let's get into it. Step 1. Select at least 20 losing trades in the same direction. This means that your 20 trades should either be all long trades or all short trades that price at hit stop loss. Ideally, you want to use everything that you have access to. The larger your sample size, the better your analysis will be. Step 2. Take a screenshot of each trade, making sure to include all the candles from the time when your trade was entered to the time stop loss was hit. Step 3. For each trade, make a list of everything that has happened between the entry time and the exit time. This includes price action movements, trading session changes, and any significant news event that may have had an impact on the trade. In particular, be very specific with price action. Since all of us here are price action traders, we need to focus heavily on the movement of price itself. Note down every single detail of price action for each candle. You can see an example below. Step 4. Do this for all the losing trades that you have selected. It is going to take a while and there is no shortcut around this. You have to be willing to do the hard work. Step 5. Tally up all of your analysis. This means making a long list of all the unique events and record how often it occurs. Here's an example for you to see. Remember that trading is all about statistics. If an event occurs more often than others, then it is likely that the event has more impact to your particular strategy. Not always true, but you find that it is often the case. This step is essentially finding out what are the potential early warning signs that could be used as an exit signal. In the example given, you can see that a change of trading session occurred the most, followed by high impact news. Now we have some information to build a model upon. Step 6. Select the event that occurred the most and use it as your exit signal. This means that if the event occurs, then you will exit your trade immediately. In this particular example, it is the changeover from the Asian trading session to the London trading session that will be used as the exit signal. Step 7. Validate your exit signal through backtesting. Go back to each trade and retake the trade with the exit signal in mind. When you see the exit signal, you have to get out of your trade. Record your new trading results. Using the example so far, I would go back and retake all the trades. I would exit the trade as soon as the London session begins. This step can be sped up if you have access to tools that can replay historical data so that it would appear as though it is happening live. Forex Tester 2 is one such tool. I use Forex Tester 2 for no reason other than the fact that I am familiar with it through many hours of one-on-one training with my mentor. Whatever tool you use, make sure that you can adjust the server time so that the candles match your actual trade setup. You can also do this with your standard charting platform by scrolling back to each individual trade setup. This option requires significantly more time and effort, but certainly not impossible. Step 8. Analyze your new trading result. Record all the important numbers such as percentage change in return, win-loss ratio, average reward-risk ratio, expectancy. Now that you have had the chance to retake all of the losing trades with the exit signal, is it better, worse, or about the same? If the introduction of the exit signal gave you better results, then there is some historical evidence that the exit signal could improve your performance. What you need to do now is to incorporate it into your current trading plan and review its impact on a regular basis. If you wish to have more than one exit signal, then you need to repeat steps 7 and 8 for each of them. Make sure to validate them individually and not as a combination, otherwise you need to learn differential analysis. There you have it, 8 simple steps that I took to find out what are the possible early warning signs that my trade could be a loser. Please always keep in mind that the exit signal sometimes will get you out of good trades. That is unavoidable. However, if you follow my procedure exactly and correctly, you will be looking at statistically significant events that had a direct positive impact to your past performance. This entire process took me 260 hours to complete using a sample size of 25 losing trades. Do not be put off by this, however, because once it is done, you can redo it much faster the next time. Think of it like building a fence around a farm to keep the wild animals out. Once the fence is done, the task of maintaining it is relatively easy compared to the initial work required to build it. The introduction of an exit signal into my trading plan had noticeably improved my performance. I hope that it would also be the case for you.